Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to each one of you. This is Violet once again. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! May God bless each one of you, those who are following me on this video, and those we are going to journey together in the year 2022. Right now, we are celebrating the transition of moving from year 2021 to year 2022. For those who listen to this video, you can still hear the fireworks outside here. Is people are celebrating, it's too much, people are celebrating, and they are very happy. And a quick question to any of you who is listening right now. If you give an opportunity to choose between the year 2021 and the year 2022, what would you choose? Personally, I would choose the year 2021. Reasons being, I know how the year 2021 has treated me, but I'm not sure of the year 2022 how it's gonna treat me. And therefore then, with the human nature, we are very comfortable with what we are used to. Our habits, our status quo, our experiences, our living, our accommodations, our friendships, our relationships, the friends we have that have surrounded us, the people we are used to talk to. And therefore, that's why most of the psychologists and researchers agreed that our resistance to change begins in our childhood. One of the writers called John Bowlby, 1958, agreed that the attachment theory is developed in our childhood. He wanted to describe, or he wanted to understand the anxiety and the distress that is involved when children are separated from their primary caretakers. And therefore his findings were that it's very hard to move away from what we are used to what we are not used. And in today's video, I wanted to discover, me and you, why do we fear change? Why me and you fear change? Why don't we want to move on with life? Because in most cases, the anthropologists and social scientists also agree that it's because of economic factors and social factors. The social attachments we have to the community, to our people, to the environment. We don't want to leave it and move to the unknown space. Other writers also agreed that people fear change because it involves pain. There's pain. One of the psychiatrists called Elizabeth Kubler-Ross developed the 5 stages of grief. And in most cases, we resist change because we fear to go through these 5 stages of grief, which involves denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and the final stage is acceptance. But in reality, it's very hard to move from anger or to move from denial and jump to acceptance. In most cases, we are caught up in between, that we are not able to move from denial to acceptance. We take a lot of time, especially when an experience happens to us. Termination of a contract, termination of a job, separation of couples, divorce, relationship breakups, friends, separation of friends, or losing friends. Everything here involves loss, involves foregoing, involves moving from known to unknown, and therefore it's a fearful experience. And that's why most of us fear changes that happen in our life. We fear to take on another, we fear to embrace a new change that comes to our lives. But in this video, I want to show you what are the advantages of accepting change in life. Initially, changes were looked at as negatives, that it is always preferred to be in the status quo, to protect the status quo. But what about to be curious? What about if you decide to cross over and see what happens into another experience? What about trying out new things in life and see how it goes? Is very important. This is a very important aspect, but also it calls us to take up the courage. It calls us up to embrace this new change that comes to us with kind of exploration. Yes, resistance to change can be sometimes a way of sabotaging new experiences or new developments, especially when it comes to organizational development or organizational changes. And therefore, you would find that sometimes the employees would need workplace counseling or workplace therapy in order to accept new changes, either change of managerial responsibilities or change of positions in organizations. That also contributes to resistance to change, because people sometimes would love to protect their economic statuses in organizations. But what about us? What about me and you outside there? Why do we resist change? So let us look at the ways to adapt to changes. Take an example. If you want to move away from a certain abusive relationships, which you have stayed in for years, and therefore then you feel this should be my husband, this should be my wife, but then maybe things are not working out. You have tried therapy and things are not working out. You have tried to talk to friends and things are not working out. So what about moving out of that kind of relationship? Can you do that? Can you take up yourself and correct your own stability, your own stamina, and move on into a new experience? It's a very hard situation to make a decision when it comes to that. When it comes to people we are used to, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to people we love, and then time comes for separation. It's a very hard moment, and usually people need support. People need therapy. People need good friends to be with us, to support us in that kind of a transition. And therefore, one of the books I was reading was called Stepping Up in Confidence in the Future. Stepping up with confidence in the future. We need confidence to transit. We need confidence to move away from that abusive relationship, from that abusing environment, from that unacceptable situation, from that violation, from that exploitation, especially of my human rights, of my dignity, especially as a woman. When I realize that my dignity is not respected, what am I supposed to do? Stepping up in future with courage. To sum up this video, I want to look at the way we can adapt to new changes. How can we adapt to new changes? According to the writers called Carl Rogers, 1961, he was a personal-centered therapist. And according to him, he believed in an individual's capacity to change and adapt to any changes in life and cope to any changes in life. For him, he provided 3 conditions: unconditional positive regard, empathy, and genuineness of the supporters or of the therapists. According to Carl Rogers, he believed that every individual has capacity to cope and transit in life if given a safe environment to discern, and if she is or he is understood by the people and the environment around him, and if he experiences the unconditional positive regard, which means the unjudgmental attitudes or acceptance. When I feel accepted, appreciated, and judged, and feel people can feel for me, people can feel what I'm going through. Carl Rogers believes, and I too believe, that we are able to transit and stand alone and manage the new experiences that we have taken up. And therefore, as I'm summing up this video, I'm calling to each one of you, all people who are following my videos, learn to take up risks. Don't fear to take up risks. When things are not working out in your life, learn to let go. Because that's the only way you can enter into a new life. For instance, take an example. In a spiritual perspective, we can talk about a seed that dies. And after its death, it can then give life. The Bible talks about it. For those who believe in the Bible, it's very clear that only unless a seed dies, it's when it will be able to give life. And therefore then, unless we die to our old self, that's when we shall be able also to give life to others. That's when we shall be able to give life to the community, to give life to the world. So let us not fear change. Let us not resist change, but explore what type of change is this, and if it is for better self, let us embrace change. Let us embrace change so that we become the better self, so that we become people who can help others also to step up in future in confidence and be renewed once again. Think about your life. Think about your relationships. Think about your friends who are surrounding you. Think about your marriage. Think about your marital status. And in this new year, what do you want to change? What do you want to see changed in your life in this new year, so you may be whole again? Once again, I thank you for listening to me, and those who can subscribe, please do subscribe to my videos, like them, comment, and like my videos. Thank you so much, and I wish you once again happy New Year 2021. God bless you. Bye.